Okay, everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the process of how to sell one of your casino affiliate websites, maybe in the future, because I maybe think that a lot of the viewers I have on the YouTube channel might not be in a stage where they are ready to sell a website right now. But I have been selling quite a lot of casino affiliate websites myself in the past, and I'm kind of still doing it. Kind of been one of my strategies to work on a website for maybe 2 to 3 years, and then at one point when I feel like the time is right, I'm selling one of the websites. There's a lot of reasons behind selling websites, and it's also kind of one of the strategies that you can have. I have people that have been working with casino affiliate marketing for as long as I have, and they have never sold a website because they feel like they want to keep working on the same website or the same websites. They kind of want to build a very big, rooster of or roster of of websites that they can kind of want to work on. So it's kind of just up to each and one of us if we want to sell our websites or not. I have sold websites spanning from 3,000 euro up to almost €500,000. So you can sell websites at an early stage as well if you want to maybe secure some fast cash, if you want money to be able to invest in other projects. So there's no real rules when it comes to selling websites. But since I've gotten the question a lot, especially in my free one-on-one calls that everyone that is watching my YouTube channels can book. There's a link in the description, so you can just talk to me, ask me anything in these ones. And also, obviously, from my community members, we have Q&As every week, and the topic of selling websites are coming up quite often. That's why I feel like I want to create just a video talking about it. So I have prepared slides on how to sell a website, why you should sell a website, when you should not sell a website, maybe kind of how much you can also get from your website if you are looking at selling a website at your current stage. I'm also going to show you some numbers on how much I've sold my own websites for. And I'm also going to show you actually an example of how I helped one of the community members sell his website for quite a lot of money. So that was super fun for me to be able to help with that. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Adam. I've been working with casino affiliate marketing for 9 years now soon. Almost going into my 10th year. So that is super fun. Still building a lot of my own websites. I'm working on a new one at the moment, and it's still as fun as it was when I got started. So yeah, let's go into this presentation here. So what does it actually mean by selling a website? It's kind of self-explanatory. It's basically like selling anything. You are just transferring the ownership of your website. So some people are confusing it maybe with like selling a company, and that is not really the thing that you're doing because you're just transferring an asset that is owned by your company. Obviously, there are instances when you can sell the whole company, but I've never done that. I've just sold the websites as assets. And what happens when you sell a website is that the person that buys the website are getting the domain, you're transferring the hosting, you're transferring all of the content, all of the traffic, everything, the revenue sources. I'm going to talk a bit more on what is actually included in the sale in just a moment. And what happens is that you're getting a one-time payment, or it could also be kind of like a structured deal on when you're getting paid. But the point with selling a website is to get a one-time payment or a bigger chunk of money. And what is included in selling a website? Like I mentioned, it is going to be basically everything that has to do with the website. It is going to be the domain name. It's going to be all of the content. Obviously, it's going to be the whole database. And it's going to be the hosting, or you're going to transfer the website from your hosting to the buyer's hosting. And in some cases, you also include the affiliate accounts that are connected to the website, because sometimes a buyer is just as interested in buying the accounts that is connected to the website just as they are in buying the actual website. So when I've sold websites, sometimes they have been including the affiliate accounts, and sometimes they have only included the actual website. So I think that when someone buys a website for a higher price tag, usually the affiliate accounts are included. But in some cases, maybe they want to leverage their own affiliate deals. So let's say that a company has a lot of big deals with different operators, and they just basically want to leverage having more traffic coming to these deals. An easy example would be like, let's say that you as a website owner are making 10K a month with your website, and just to make an easy example, you have €100 CPA on all of your deals. And a new company comes along, buys your website, and they connect their own affiliate accounts to the website, and they have CPAs of 150 euro. What happens is that they immediately raise the revenue from 10K to 15K, just because they already have better deals with the operators. So that, I think, is one of the main reasons that some bigger companies are buying smaller websites, just because they can leverage these higher deals that they have. Also, obviously, I wrote existing backlinks because every backlink that has been bought for the website is going to, stay pointing to that website. So as a seller, you cannot just go back to the backlinks that you bought and start pointing them to your new website if you have another one. So all of that is going to be included. Traffic sources, it could be if you have email lists, these can also be included. If you have other types of traffic, let's say that you are running traffic from social media or YouTube, usually that is also included. And how do you calculate the price of a website? Typically, the valuation is between 20 and 35x of monthly average net revenue and profit. So there's a lot of factors that are going into the price. I think that the site age, the revenue, the stability, and also how much the reoccurring revenue the accounts are making, and also the potential, because sometimes we are saying that we are selling a website on potential. So then you can use the multiplier, but you can also add some on the potential. I've sold websites that hasn't really been making that much money, but they have some high potential. So maybe that's why a buyer wants to come in and kind of just fix everything that is wrong with the website and start monetizing it and start making money. So higher quality sites obviously going to have a higher multiple. It could have something to do with the markets they're working in. It could have to do with the design. It could have to do with the keywords they're ranking for. And I wrote here that you can take the average of net revenue or net profit. And for me, I've always been using the revenue, not profit, because obviously then you can get a higher price because you're not deducting the costs. And I think that that kind of makes sense. It's up to the, the seller and the buyer to negotiate this, but I've always sold all of my websites on net revenue. So let's say that the last 6 or 12 months, a website has been doing an average net revenue of 5,000 euro or 10,000 euro. Maybe it's an easy example. And you're using a multiplier of 20x, then you can sell the website for 200K. And the average net revenue is calculated because you cannot just take the last month, or you cannot just take the best month, because it has to show a more realistic image of how much you can sell it for. And I think another factor here is to see if the revenue is going up or if the revenue is going down. And if the revenue is going down, maybe you can use a lower multiple. And if the revenue is, increasing, you can use a higher multiple. And why is it a good idea, according to me at least, to sell a website? And mainly, you're securing a large cash payout, which is always good. I like to sell websites because I like to see a big amount of money coming into my bank account. Another thing is also that you're selling the risk, because we are working with in a volatile niche. Traffic comes, sometimes traffic can go a bit, and you are selling the risk to someone that is willing to keep the risk. So you are securing, let's say that you're using a 20x multiple, you are securing the same amount of revenue coming in every month for 20 months. And I think that that is a good feeling to know that whatever happens with the website, you are going to see this money coming in every month. Obviously, you're not going to see the money coming in, but because you're getting the money, you're going to be able to maybe support yourself for the next 20 months. And I remember selling the first website I had because it was doing quite a lot of money, but my money was kind of tied into this one. And since I didn't really have that much of a cash flow besides the website, I felt like I wanted to secure the risk of getting this money in so I can support myself with new products by selling this website off. And another good thing with selling a website is that you're freeing up a lot of your time to focus on other ventures, other websites that you have. And for me, sometimes I feel like I've been working on a website for quite a long time, and I feel like maybe this website is not as fun to work on anymore. I want to start new products because I really like to start new products. And that has also been one of the reasons that I have been selling a website, because I want to focus on other things within casino affiliate marketing. And also the future market uncertainty. I sold my Brazilian website about 8 months before the regulations, and that turned out to be a very smart idea, because if I were to sell it a year later, I would probably get a lot less money for it, because the Brazilian market got regulated, and I think most websites in Brazil saw a downturn in revenue. So that was a pretty good thing. And also the last thing here is to take advantage of a good offer, because it has happened to me that people are approaching me saying that they want to buy my website. And if someone approaches you saying that they want to buy a website, obviously you should always hear them out to see what they want to offer, because there are always offers that you can't refuse. And that has happened. I had sold one website when I got approached, and then I realized that, okay, people maybe want to buy this. So I actually leveraged that price to another buyer. So I got two people that were interested in the same website. So the price went from 275,000 euro up to 315 because there were two buyers that wanted to buy it. So in that case, I really didn't feel like maybe I should sell a website, but I did it anyway because the price was so good. Don't really remember the multiplier, but I think that the multiplier was at, I don't I don't remember, but it was a good multiplier, so that was nice. So the next one is, how do you sell a website? The first thing you have to do is to create a pitch deck. You have to be able to present the website, the numbers. You have to be able to incentivize people in buying this. I have a friend in the community that has sent me his pitch deck. If you are watching this video, sorry for outing you, but it was quite a bad pitch deck, like it didn't look enticing at all for people to buy the website. I'm not talking about creating something that is very aesthetically pleasing, but it has to be able to, make someone curious about buying the website. And I've been creating these pitch decks, and I think it's pretty fun to do it, because usually you're going to get the same questions from different buyers, like what is the revenue, what is this, why do you want to sell, everything like this. So if you have a professional pitch deck, you can just send them this one, and they're going to hopefully be a bit impressed on how prepared you are. And if you show that you are very prepared and organized, they're also going to maybe think that you are very organized with everything else, such as the creation of the website. So this is the first kind of impression that you make on a buyer, creating a pitch deck. For me, I've just been using like outreach, because you cannot use websites such as Empire Flippers and Flippa because they don't allow gambling websites. So I've just been looking around in forums, in communities, in my Teams groups, and just been letting people know that I am interested in selling a website. And sometimes they are also, letting their friends know or their contacts know that my website is for sale. Maybe they're taking a small cut of referring my websites to another buyer. I think that is pretty common as well. So I've only been doing that using my own networks. Also being using a broker, that is a pretty good thing. If you are looking to sell a website and you're looking for a broker, I know quite a few people, so you can always reach out to me if you're looking for one. gpwa.org is also a website where you can go into their forum, and they have a sub forum where you can go in and list a website for sale. And also, I wrote connections, but it's the same thing, you just like let people know that you're selling a website. You don't have to tell them exactly what website you're selling. You can just let people know that you're selling a website in this market for approximately this amount. And also in this pitch deck, you can put kind of different ways of selling the website. I've always been putting like maybe 3 different prices. So one price includes only the asset, not the affiliate accounts or anything like that. Another one can include the affiliate accounts as well. And another one will include me staying on the product for maybe like 1 or 2 months in order to help the new company kind of like get used to work on the website, learn the SOP and all of that stuff. And I didn't really put a slide about this in this presentation or in this video, but you can also sell websites based on an earnout period. And that basically means that you're staying on the product for a set amount of time. It could be 6 months, it could be a year. And then you're helping pushing the revenue and the results of the website. And then you can get paid more based on the revenue. And I think that is very common on a lot of the bigger websites. You get different tiers on how much you can make. I did an earnout on the first website I sold. I really regret it because I feel like I got a bit screwed over by the buyers. So I guess I have some kind of like PTSD from selling with an earnout. And so I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just doing like regular handovers that is included in the sales price. So that is a bit more relaxed, and obviously I'm still doing my best I can. And I help the new company get familiar with the product so that they can run it to the best of their ability. Even with the last sale of the websites I did, I'm still actually with the company that bought this website. So I actually wanted to show, I think it was here, how do you calculate the price of the website? I actually showed it in another YouTube video that I had that was called let's see here, like this one, selling casino affiliate websites made me rich. Here's how to do it. And in this one, I shared some numbers of the website I have sold. I am not listing the domains here, so if you want this to believe me or not, that is up to you. But I have sold website. I think that the amount here is totaling of around 1.3 million euro or something like that. I am not listing the latest price I sold my latest websites on, because I know that I just sold it, it's pretty fresh, and I have, obviously, in all of these contracts, you have a non-disclosure agreement, so and I don't want to list the price here. So in the other video, I talked about I bought a Swedish affiliate website as well for 1K many years ago, and I actually sold it for 3,000 euro. I think I sold it cheaper than it's worth, but I just kind of wanted to get rid of it. I've sold a lot of backlinks from this website, so I made quite a good revenue, or quite a good X multiple on selling this website. So that is great. Some of these websites are not casino affiliate websites. Some of them are Amazon affiliate websites, because I was also doing that quite a lot of years ago. I think that the first one I sold was in 2020, if I'm not wrong, 2019 maybe, I sold this one. And this one I sold maybe 2 years ago. And this one I sold, it's not too long ago, like 6 months ago. So yeah, and I'm still running this product, because I'm still working with the new owners. And I'm also running, I think, 3 other websites. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So the process of the handover of our website is that in some cases you start with a letter of intent. Basically, you're signing that the buyers are interested in buying and the sellers are interested in selling, and you are not allowed to take on any new buyers until use this letter of intent period is over. And during this time, you're also doing the due diligence. This basically means that you're letting the buyers go into the affiliate accounts, maybe to the Google Search Console, to see if all of the numbers that you're giving them are correct, and do their own calculations. In some cases, this is super fast. They just basically believe all of the numbers that you're giving them. In some cases, they really want to go in and turn every stone upside down to see that everything is correct. So this can take a week. This could take 2-3 months. I mean, even in bigger, like mergers and acquisitions, a due diligence can take over 2 years, in bigger companies. But in these cases, it's usually pretty fast, depending on how much, depending on the tempo of the due diligence. And then you sign the agreement and you finalize the deal terms, and then you transfer the domain, hosting, and backend access. And then also you migrate all of the affiliate accounts. So this one is pretty easy. You basically just go in and change the email that is connected to the account, and you change the payout options. And then also, usually what I do is that I create, basically just like this YouTube video, I'm creating like how-to videos and explaining everything on how everything works. How are we posting articles? How are we doing this? And also documentations, maybe like backlink spreadsheets and stuff like that. So I actually prepared a small, I just put it into Photoshop like this, to show you how it can look from selling a website. Obviously, I blurred it here, so you cannot see which website this is. I also blurred my payment details here. So you can see here the domain, blah, 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 and any other domains directly or indirectly related to the domain, all of its contents and data assets. Wow. All licenses related to the website, all affiliate accounts that I listed in the appendix here, and all of the other information here. You can create like these contracts in like ChatGPT. Obviously, you need to know that everything is legal and that everything is as it should. But the thing I wanted to show you here is that you can use like an escrow service where you are basically the buyer is sending the money, and then you transfer everything over to the buyer, so that both parties knows that you are going to get paid, and the buyer knows that they're going to get all of the assets. I've never used an escrow service myself, because they are taking quite a bit of a fee, and I've always trusted all of the buyers that have bought my websites. But usually this is what we've been doing. In this case, it was 100K up on signature of the agreement, 165K once all of the assets has been transferred, except for the domain. And after that has been transferred, there's 50,000 more, and then I transfer the domain over, so that the money is not going to get transferred immediately. So this is a pretty common setup, I guess, and this is what I've been doing, selling most of my websites. So when shouldn't you sell a website? I think that if our website is growing rapidly and you feel like your last average of 6 months or 12 months is not really representing of what it might look like in another 6 months, then I think that you should not sell your website. And also, obviously, on the flip side, if you feel like your revenue is going down and it's going to hurt your average of 6 or 12 months, then maybe you should look into selling the website. And if you have no plans in reinvesting the money into something new, it doesn't have to be casino affiliate marketing, but then maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe it's better to keep reinvesting in this website so you can push the revenue and earnings up. Because I still do believe that people shouldn't stress selling a website just because they want the thrill of selling a website. Because in many cases it is better to keep a website. And if a website is your only income source, maybe it is good to keep working on this one, because if you sell a website and you have nothing to do, of course you have the money, but you don't have a long-term revenue, like a revenue stream. So I think that the next slide should be, when should you sell? Yeah, it is. If you feel like the website has kind of stabilized, or if you feel like it has peaked, you feel like maybe this website can't really make that much more money, maybe it's niche enough so that you cannot really scale on new keywords, maybe then it's also time to sell a website. If you have like different personal or business goals, if you have shifted a bit, then it could also be a good idea. Maybe you want to do something else. Maybe you got a job. Maybe casino affiliate marketing is not something that you want to do anymore. One of the websites I sold, I actually worked on it with a partner, and he wasn't really interested in working on the website anymore, and I wasn't interested in working on it by myself. So we decided to sell it for that reason. And like I wrote here, the right buyer appears. If you get an offer that is very good, maybe you shouldn't say no to it, because maybe an offer like that wouldn't really come in the future. So then it could be a right time to sell it. And also sometimes when you feel like you're getting an offer, but it's lower than you expected, but you also feel like the website is decreasing or declining in a very fast rate, maybe it could be a good idea to sell the website anyway, even though you feel like you're not getting the amount of money that you were looking at. So what is the realistic timeframes for selling a website? I think that like just preparing everything, you have to get all of your numbers and statistics out. You have to create the pitch deck and stuff like that. It could take one day, it could take just a couple of days. I just put 1 to 2 weeks because I think that is pretty realistic. Especially if you have a lot of affiliate accounts, especially if you have a lot of data that you need to put together in a document. And also finding a buyer, you can be super lucky with finding a buyer, and you can find one in just, in an hour. It could also take a lot longer, especially if it's a really big product, because in some instances, the product can be too expensive for a lot of buyers to buy it. And also on the flip side, maybe a website is not making enough money for a lot of buyers to even be interested in buying it. Maybe it's too cheap. So then it could take a long time to find a buyer that is willing to buy a cheap website as well. And a handover could take at least 1 week, especially when it comes to payments. A payment is usually going to take a couple of days as well. And also, depending on what it says in the contract, you're going to do a handover. I have been doing 1 month handovers. I've been doing 2 months handovers as well. So yeah, it could take quite a long process, especially also if you're involving maybe like lawyers and stuff like that. That is also going to take some time. And also smaller website, it could be super fast. For example, the one I sold now for 3K, that was super fast. I just asked kind of like a friend if he wanted to buy it. He said yes. And then we didn't even sign a contract or anything. He just sent the money and I sent him the login and he migrated everything himself. So that was like super fast. So it's very hard to tell. Pros and cons of selling versus holding a website. And selling, obviously, it gives you fast liquidity. There is no ongoing work, which is great because you're still securing getting paid the same revenue that you've done the last 6 months for another 20 to 35 months without having to spend any time on it. You free yourself up to create other projects. So that for me is a really powerful thing with selling a website. You have lower risk. I already talked about this. And you have the opportunity to reinvest. This could be anything. When I get a big payment, usually I'm also putting it into some stocks just to get some money on the money. And holding the website could be good because you feel like the website hasn't reached its full potential yet. So you are getting the a recurring passive income. And also, if this is the only thing that you're working on at the moment, if you sell a website, then all of a sudden you have nothing to do. So basically, you're kind of wasting your time not doing anything. So working on a website and being able to sell it at a higher price in the future, I think that maybe then you should hold off on selling a website. So what are the buyers looking for? They're looking for very clean and verifiable revenue history. So that's why I'm always talking about, especially inside of my course in CasinoAffMastery, in my community, you really need to start from the beginning to track everything, track the traffic, track the revenue, track your backlink profile, even track, content writers and costs, and see how much words you've been putting on your website. Obviously, you shouldn't go overboard too much with the tracking, but it is very important to have all of this tracking and make sure that it is correct. I think that this diverse affiliate sources is going to come on the next one as well, so I'm going to save that one. But they're also looking for a strong backlink profile and obviously organic visibility, because if you have a really clean, nice backlink profile, the buyers are going to be impressed with that, because no one wants to buy a website that has a really weak or shady backlink profile with maybe a lot of like PBN links or just very bad links. Also track your anchor text diversity. I think that is also very important. And also low maintenance and operations and good documentation. Usually something that I'm always pushing at when I'm selling website is how easy it is to use the websites that I have, or how easy it is, for example, to add a new casino, how easy it is to create and add new content and stuff like that. And I think that is something that people really are looking for. So red flags, and this one is kind of the reverse of this one. And if people are over relying too much on one affiliate program or one geo, I think that maybe some buyers can see that as a red flag, because if the partnership or the deal with this affiliate program just kind of goes down or disappears, then the revenue is going to also kind of drop a lot. Also, legal risks and compliance issues. I think that this one only kind of really matters if you are working in the heavily regulated markets. Could be the US, could be also Brazil now, could be Sweden, could be any of the very regulated countries. And also this one is also kind of like a reverse of this one. But if you lack this tracking, or if you are unorganized, and if you haven't tagged your referral links and your affiliate links, so you don't really know where the revenue is coming from and stuff like that, it can kind of make a buyer hesitant in buying, because if there's no structure now, maybe it's going to be hard for them to create a structure in the future. So quickly I want to show another thing before I end, because I am quite happy that one of my community members managed to sell one of his websites. And this guy, he's fine with me sharing this information. But yeah, he worked, and his wife also, they worked on a website for quite a long time, and they decided that it was time for them to sell their website. And at the moment they are working on, I think, 2 or 3 new websites, and I think that they are doing quite good with this. They have been spending a lot of time working on this. They were both freelancers in the past, but now they are just 100% just focusing on casino affiliate marketing. So super happy about that as well. If you are interested in checking out this community, you can also find a link in the description. And if you're interested in talking to me, like I mentioned, there's a link in the description as well, where you can book a free call with me. So that would be amazing if you wanted to do that, because I want to talk to people that are interested in casino affiliate marketing, because for me, this is very fun. So yeah, it was the end of this video. Hopefully I will see you again soon. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.